I woke up this morning, gasping as if from a nightmare, my head feverish, my whole body filled with dread and foreboding. I'm getting married today to Arjun, my father's best friend's son, the perfect husband from any parent's standard for their daughter. But this is an arranged marriage. What am I doing? This is the 21st century. 5 months. I've known him only for 5 months. How can anyone decide after only 5 months if they want to spend the next 5 decades or more with someone? Technically though, I suppose I've really known Arjun all my life. Or rather known about him all my life. All the stories Dad used to tell. And then last year, Arjun's parents stayed with us on a visit to India. My dad had not seen his friend for over 16 years. I really got to know them and grew to adore them. We became quite close and I was sad to see them leave. Then, 6 months ago, they returned with Arjun. Wife hunting, they said jokingly. And my parents joined in the joke most heartily. So did I, in my innocence. And now, in a very few hours, I would be married to Arjun. This afternoon, sitting amongst the chaos that was my friends and cousins, all getting me ready for the wedding, other feelings came over me. Seeing how happy everyone was, posing for at least 1 million photographs in silly poses. All my 15 aunties putting nazar ka tikka behind my ears to ward off the evil spirits. I became impatient for the wedding ceremony to begin. I suddenly wanted to throw myself off that cliff. I took a deep breath. Bhumika, my best friend, was sitting beside me. She took my hand. It's just the wedding jitters, she said. Every bride is entitled to them. Other friends laughed and passed comments about the wedding night and the usual after-marriage woes. Beyond the giggles and innuendos, I could hear the faint sounds of the tolas. The groom's wedding procession had reached the gates. Let's go, everyone, Bhumika shouted. Let's go, the Bharat has come. Suddenly, the room was empty, a blessed silence. But a silence that brought back all the dark thoughts and fears of the dawn. In a few minutes, my life was going to change. Forever. The voices in my head would not stop. Terrible thoughts with nowhere to go banged and banged against my brain. I could hardly breathe. Then, in an instant, the blinding truth flashed across my mind, like lightning across my eyes. I knew the reason for my fears. I'm not in love with Arjun. That was the missing piece of the puzzle. Love. We are not in love with each other. But I'm not in love with anyone else either. It was so simple. A sense of calm settled over me. True, I may not be in love, but I do really like Arjun and respect him. He's a really nice guy, good looking, intelligent, educated and easygoing. And he belongs to a very good, respectable and wealthy family. It was a perfect match. But our families had made the decision for us. But then, as people continuously said, we do make a handsome couple. Everything is perfect. It was then that I began to accept. It may have been an arranged marriage, but it was not a soulless one. Arjun and I are really good together. We have an affinity and a certain something Some people even call it a spark. They say respect and admiration lead to love. I hope so. I might as well believe so. Why not? Isn't that what they mean by take a leap of faith? True, it's a risk, but perhaps it's worth it. I caught myself in the mirror. Yes, there it was. A smile that crept out of the corners of my mouth, spread across my cheeks and up into my eyes, and flowed right through my head and my heart and into my toes, so that I felt it lifted me above the earth. Such a smile as those photographers today would love to have captured. Genuine happiness. I knew I could enter this relationship happily after all. Mom came in just then, and we were all happy tears and hugs. Dad appeared and kissed me on the forehead. You've always been my heart, my little princess, but now it's time for you to go to your prince. I'll never forget those words. As I walked down the aisle towards the mandap and heard the traditional singing of the Lagna, I felt my nerves giving way. He was there. Our eyes met. I stared at him in fear. And in return, he gave me an exaggerated wink and a huge smile. I do like his smile and his dancing, mischievous eyes. I couldn't help but smile. As I reached him, Arjun stepped down from the mandap, took my hand, and led me onto the platform. And we sat through the whole ceremony, holding hands. The wedding was over. All the other after-marriage ceremonies were also over. I was all alone in the room, beautifully decorated for the wedding night. All the fears, all the apprehensions, anxiety that had circled in my mind all day returned with full force. The decorated bed felt like the devil himself awaiting his offering. Giving yourself to a man in love is one thing, but giving yourself to your husband out of duty felt so cold. The terror of all my anxiety and doubts returned. Arjun came in and quietly closed the door behind him. He walked up to me at the window, and we stood there together in silence, looking out of the window at nothing. It was almost funny. After all that fuss, here we were together. Somehow his presence made me feel calmer. Suddenly Arjun turned towards me. He was smiling. How about friends? Friendship? I did not understand. I must have looked like an idiot. How about we start with friendship? He was smiling fully now. He said, we don't know each other all that much. And now we are married and going to spend our lives together. So it's our choice how we start this journey, right? I felt sort of giddy, confused. And this was not the sort of talk I was led to expect. Then he held out his hand, raised an eyebrow and said, don't worry, I'm not going to jump on you. I almost laughed and took his hand. Then he wailed, he pretended to wail as he wiped away imaginary tears and said that his wife has rejected his charms on the wedding night. I almost laughed. And I felt so relaxed with him now and even laughed at his antics. Then he told me what a beautiful laugh I had and how he had first noticed it 5 months ago. I couldn't take my eyes off him. He was talking about the honeymoon And if we thought of it as just two friends going on a holiday, we could take things as slowly as we wanted and see what happens. I found myself nodding. I was so overwhelmed by everything that I was ready to accept whatever he suggested. I was still a child. The woman in me was yet to rise. Then he led me to the sofa, where I had to sit and wait while he went to his cupboard and brought out a little blue box. It was his wedding gift to me. Inside was a beautiful wristwatch. He asked me to turn it over. There was an inscription, and it begins. I did not understand. Then he held out a little card from the box. It said, "Life from tomorrow will be our life, for us to live it the way we want. We can make it what we want. So now it begins, our story." I just stared at the card, and tears began to flow down my cheeks. All the fear, all the tenseness, anxiety that I had been feeling and hiding for so long was spilling out in tears of emotional relief. A queer sort of happiness that needs tears to express it, I thought. I looked up. Arjun was looking at me with so much love in his eyes. The missing piece of the puzzle, finally found, made the most beautiful picture, which was my future, and I could see it all in Arjun's eyes. And quite naturally, I went into his arms, and we sat there hugging for a long, long time. Eventually, we pulled back, and we stared at each other. Then we laughed. How we laughed. And laughing, holding hands, we welcomed the future with eyes shining bright with new hopes and dreams that we would see together.